Hey guys, welcome again to another tutorial on Photoshop. Today I'll be doing a beginner's guide to using the pen tool in Photoshop. So let's just go ahead and get started. Just go ahead and make a new document. Um, for these videos I'll do default Photoshop size. For the resolution, regardless, tutorial or not, I always like to keep it at 300 because um, it increases your pixels per inch, aka resolution for your piece. Okay, so there we have our document. Now, over here on our tool section, right down here is the pen tool. The shortcut for that is P. So just go ahead and click on that, and here we have our little awesome little object going on. Now, if you've used Illustrator before, it's a little like Illustrator, but also a little bit different. They both have their pros and their cons. Um, I used to really despise using this pen tool in Photoshop. I thought it was the devil. But the more I got used to it, the more I used it, the more I practiced with it, I really came to like it. So, I mean, you can do a lot of different stuff with it. I mean, you can make selections, you can make masks, different shapes, and it's become a very useful tool, especially the more advanced you get, or even beginner levels. It's a very useful tool and something that everyone should really practice with. So let's just go ahead and make a first dot. It doesn't really matter where. So boom, just go ahead and tap down on the document. Now, if you hold down Shift tool, let's say if you wanted to make a straight line, a horizontal or vertical, you just hold down the Shift tool and you just tap anywhere, to the right, to the left, up or down, and it'll make a straight line to that point. Boom, there we go, we have a straight line. If you want to go up to the top, holding down Shift, you tap down, there we go, another straight line. And it also goes awesomely in a diagonal fashion. Boom, there we go. And then holding Shift again, there we go, we have a almost right triangle. Anyways, alright, so let's go back to our new document. So it's a really cool tool. Now let's go ahead and try practicing with the using the curves that it has. So again, holding down Shift, go ahead and tap and don't release. Now, when you move your mouse around or your trackpad, wherever it may be, you can see it quickly snaps to different edges, and that again is because we're holding down the Shift tool, and it gives us a perfectly straight line, so to speak. And then also Photoshop is telling us here's a perfect curve, perfectly angled curve, I should say, to that point. Now when we let go of the Shift tool, boom, there we go. Now we can just it's free form. We have complete 360-degree rule of that pen tool. Now, once you make your curve, we can just drop it right there. You also have these points up top. You have the point up on the top and on the bottom. And what this is saying basically is, this is how long your next curve is going to be if you want to make another curve. So let's go ahead and redo that. If you hold down the Option key, you get this little triangle right here, or I should not, almost triangle, like a little pointer. And when you have this pointer, you can tap on one of these points, and you can basically control where this line goes. You can control how long it is, how close it is, or technically, if you really don't want it there at all, you can just bring it right on to the top of that thing, and it basically directs the follow through of that point. Excuse me, something's wrong with my voice today. It directs the point, there we go, just like that, to be more curved or not curved at all. So going back to this part, now if we just want it to, cut off right there and just, have that one curve, you just go ahead and holding down again, the Option tool, you just go ahead and click right there, and that curve is gone. Basically saying, we don't want it to curve or bend beyond this point right here, and we want to create our own path. So if you go ahead and click anywhere, you get a straight line. But again, you can tap, and you can also pull the points out and create, whatever, again, whatever you would like to create. It's really cool. You can make let's get a little funky looking spaceship or ship. I don't know, doesn't really matter, just messing around. Okay, so we have this funky looking shape now, and again, the farther you drag out these points, again, then the longer the bend in your shape is going to be. And again, if you don't want Photoshop's pen tool to continue on throughout this path, then you just go ahead and, again, holding down the Option tool, you just click anywhere, boom, and again, it cuts off that path. And then when this little circle comes up, I'm pointing to the screen, this little circle comes up next to the crosshair of the pen tool, that means Photoshop is basically saying you're about to close this path. So that's what we want to do here. You close this path, and there we have our funky looking shape. Now, when you move your pen tool, without changing any of this yet, when you move your pen tool over the line, you get this little plus sign, and that's basically asking you, do you want to add another point onto your line? And for this sake, we'll say sure, why not? So we'll put another line there, and when that comes up, you're able to edit these lines. Holding down the Option tool, you can play with these lines. You can bring them all around, bring it around town, just like SpongeBob says. So that's great. Now, when you have something like this come up, you can always hit the what is this? What tool is this? I'm blanking out here. There we go. Direct Selection tool. When you have your Direct Selection tool selected, you only move that point, and you can bring it anywhere you want. But again, if you have the pen tool selected and you have your arrow used, it just works with the two lines that are going around your point. So it works with the bend, and that's pretty much it. You can stretch it out. You can make it skinny, give it some wavy action. Looks like we're getting some 3D thing going on. But again, hitting A on your keyboard, the quick keyboard shortcut for the Direct Selection tool, which is right down here. Again, that's A for the Direct Selection tool. You can click on any one of these points, and you can move it anywhere you want, which is great. And then also, you can control the bend in any one of the corners, which is awesome. Now, if you want to delete any points on your line that you've created, just go ahead and snap back to the pen tool, which is P on the keyboard shortcut. Again, just go up to any one of these points and then just tap it. You'll see this little negative or minus sign next to your pen tool. Just go ahead and tap it, and it removes that line. Again, if you made a boo-boo or something, if you made a line somewhere that you didn't want to, and you don't want to go back, and go back in the history panel, create all these lines again, you can go back to the pen tool and just go ahead and hit that minus sign, and it just disappears. Really cool. Now, just go back up into your history and just go back, up to your new document. Now for this next part, let's just bring it back in here. Simple shape. I just went onto Google and looking up a Rubik's Cube, so I can show you guys how to use the Direct Selection, the selection, the mask, and the shape tool options using pen tool. So here I have this picture of a Rubik's Cube. Photoshop was being weird, I couldn't drag it in. So just find, if you want to follow along, that's great. If not, you can just watch. It's all good. Let's make it the size of this thing. So again, if you're working on this with me, again, it's photo of a Rubik's Cube on Google. It's like one of the first ones, I think. Yeah, that actually is the very first one. Alright, so here we have our Rubik's Cube. Down here in your layer palette, just go ahead and double click that, and let's call this Cube 1. And then make another copy of this layer, which is Command J. There we have a copy of our cube. Let's go ahead and name this Cube 2. Now, if you have not watched the other video regarding the wand tool, the wand tool, you can click selections, easy selection, but sometimes the wand tool won't get everything that you would like in the frame that you're trying to remove, edit, whatever it may be, and that's when the pen tool comes in handy. So go ahead and grab your pen tool. Again, direct selection. Oh my goodness, the keyboard shortcut is P, and we're just going to outline this top square right here. So with your pen tool, just go ahead and make your selection around this. When you get to a curve anywhere, remember you just want to tap down and you just want to pull down your mouse or your trackpad or whatever it is you're using so you can get a curve on the edge of your excuse me, curve on the edge of your path. So now that we have that done, we got our curve. A lot of times you can just hold down shift and then tap, but in this case, as you guys see here, it is not flowing flush with our cube that we're trying to outline. So no problem. Go ahead and just eyeball, just tap again wherever you want it. Let's just go right down there. There we go. And again, we want a little curve, so just bring it all the way out. No, it's fine. And when this happens, you made your curve. If you guys pause 1 second and I push down my my pen tool, you'll see I'm trying to point again with my finger towards the point that we previously made. You're getting like a wave action down there, and again, that's not what we want. So go ahead and hit Command Z to go back to this step, and you want to hit Option. So again, you get that little arrow and you just click down on that point, and now that little wavy tool, or the wavy line is absent, and we just can go back to creating straight lines. So now that we have that next point gone, just go ahead and tap, and we're back to creating some straight lines. Now go ahead and, ooh, that's kind of bad. Just go ahead and finish creating this outlining, I should say, the square. Doesn't have to be perfect, because mine certainly is not perfect. There we go. Alright, so again, make sure you guys are on the Cube 2 selection, but again, with the pen tool, it doesn't really matter, I'll explain later on. So now with our Cube 2 selected, and our pen tool, or I should say our outlined object done, everything is complete. So up here, you have selection, you have mask, making a layer mask and such, and then a shape. So for this case, let's hit selection. Now, say you want to change the photo, or the color of this one, or let's say you want to remove this and have like a something coming out of it, or put a picture on there, whatever it may be. Now that our object here is selected, and you want, I should say, excuse me, you want your selection to be gone with this one and all the following ones, all the following layers below it. With it selected, make sure you go to your selection tool, which is V. Now we have the little scissors up here. Just go ahead and hit the delete button on your keyboard. And as you can see, we have a missing square. That's because you hit delete and then I turn off the layer below it. Now, which is cool, with this selection selected, you can delete anything on any one of your layers with this, as long as it's below it. So let's see. Alright, so yeah, Cube 2, that square's gone. Now just click on layer, or I should say Cube 1, and hit delete for that one, and that layer is gone as well. That spot on the cube is gone. Zoom out here. So it's really cool. Pen tool is very useful. Now, let's say you want to make a really funky shape. I'm just going back up here to the beginning of creating that path. Let's say you want to make, a really funky shape or something. It doesn't really matter what it is. Just, I don't know, looks like a funky looking dinosaur. Once you have like your shape created, whatever it may be, whenever you go up here and you click on your shape, the shape option, it automatically creates it to a new layer, which is really cool. So just go ahead and click on shape, and it's automatically pushed. If you check down here, it's automatically pushed to a different layer. So now with this option, you also want to rasterize it. Let's see, rasterizing basically makes it editable, so to speak. So click on your layer, your shape layer, and just hit rasterize layer. There we go. Now we can play around with it. And after we create this shape with our pen tool, if you want to, erase something from a background or just a random shape, take something out of someone's face or a car, whatever, whatever it may be. You want to hold down Command, and then you want to click on the layer, and that automatically selects everything inside this layer, which in this case is our shape. Now, if this is selected, and you want to, let's say you want to keep the shape and just delete all the layers behind it, just go ahead and click on Cube 2, and then just hit delete. And then you can go down to Cube 1 if you'd like, if you want to delete something below that layer as well, and hit delete on your keyboard. And now hit Command D, which deselects your selection. And then let's turn off shape layer. And as you can see, we have our funky shape taken out of the Rubik's Cube. So I think, I think that might be it. The pen tool, again, very useful, and I know this was a fairly brief tutorial, but just as I did, I usually say this in all my videos, just make sure you guys practice with it. I mean, just doodle around with it, get used to the function of it and the different shapes that you can make with it. I mean, it takes a while to get used to, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes awesome. Again, this was like a beginner guide, and then I'll probably end up making a advanced guide. You can add in like these really cool shapes to lines, shapes, affects, your lines and stuff, neon glow and all that cool stuff. So I hope this was successful. Ooh, low battery. Yeah, I hope you guys like this, and again, just practice. I can't stress that enough, especially if this is a field you want to get into. Just always, practice, work with your pen tool, just make a bunch of different shapes, get used to, the bending, the snapping, bend and snap. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and check back for more videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and have